And sometimes, sometimes we're wrong. Sometimes we receive something. You might remember, so before I had Chili, we got a dog named Bruno. And
I
my
remember.
undergraduate advisor, who was one of the founders of the field of ethnomusicology, his name was Bruno, and he had recently died when we got Bruno. Okay, like 6 months before. So when I heard that this dog's name was Bruno, I'm like, oh, yes, this is clearly meant for me. This is a
Mhm.
sign from the universe that I need this dog. And this dog belongs in our family. And he was a beautiful dog, but also completely psychotic
Mhm.
and terrified of my husband and kept trying to bite my oldest and youngest child. Loved my second one, hated the oldest and youngest, and terrified of David. And it wasn't until the trainer that we had hired to come into our house during COVID while my husband was sick, and try, so you can imagine how much that cost, and try and train this dog till the trainer said you need to have him in a muzzle when you walk him, and also that we should take him to the vet and get him on uh, medication, and he would be on medication for the rest of his life. And I was conveying some of this to a friend of mine, and I went, this is insane. This is not okay for me to do. Not now, probably not ever, but certainly not now when I'm also trying to caregive and raise the kids and it was COVID and all of these things. This is not a dog that is happy in a family with children. Doesn't like my husband either, but specifically a family with children. So I had to call up the breeder and give up the dog. And that was very sad for me. It felt like a failure. And it also felt like a failure of my intuition because I had received this. I mean, I didn't get a message, but I took the name of the dog as a message to me
Mhm.
when it was instead just a coincidence. So sometimes we have these things that shake our belief in what is right and what we should be doing. uh, and that just does happen because life happens. So when you're practicing, sometimes you will get things wrong, and that's okay. Know that everybody gets things wrong, and you just, if there's a lesson to be learned, there's not always a lesson, but if there's a lesson to be learned, learn the lesson and move on.